Story time. One day I dated this girl, and this girl drove me home one day, but wasn't actually in my house because I gave her the wrong address. So basically, she drove me to an address that wasn't mine, and I had to go in the back of the house illegally and just stand there until she drove away. And there was this Asian dude, and he was washing dishes, and I was like, crap. So I waited till she drove away and then I walked home. But basically, another night, couple of weeks later, my car broke down and she started picking me up whenever we hung out. So one day she calls me or one night she calls me and she's like, "Are you at home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm at home." She's like, "Let's hang out." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "All right, cool, I'm outside." And I'm like, "What do you mean you're outside?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just outside." I was like, "Damn." So I was like, "Yeah, let me make sure." I was like 17 or 18 at the time. I was like, "Let me make sure my dad isn't up." She's like, "Yeah, okay." And she was like 24 at the time. She's like, "Okay, hurry up." I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "How am I gonna get?" Also, it's raining outside. So I was like, "How am I gonna get a mile and a half from my house to my fake house?" And I was like, "Okay, electric skateboard, umbrella, let's go." So I start going. I go to enter the fake neighborhood, which is my fake house. Damn, she's literally blocking my entrance into the neighborhood, so I can't get in without getting like exposed.
Expose. Yeah.
So I have to cut through the forest onto somebody's property in the backyard, and I have to do that multiple times, jump fences. So that's what I do. That's exactly what I do because 17, 18 at the time, and I don't know any better. I do know better, but I was stupid at the time, just risking it all. I'm jumping the fences, climbing the fences, whatever, and it's raining. I'm like, I'm sweating from all the running and carrying the heavy skateboard that's electric. So for in order to actually get to my house, I would have to go through somebody's front lawn from this little gap. It's like an alleyway. It's not really an alleyway, but whatever you call it. It's like a little space between the houses. And I look and I see her car is actually parked in front of my house. And I look at the entrance of the neighborhood. I'm like, I thought your car was parked over there, but it was a different car. And I was like, no, dude. So now I can't go out of that little alleyway thing. So I have to go back, go loop around, and then go a different way. So I do that couple of illegal trespassing backyards later. I have to cross this area where there's a cliff, and that's the only way over. And I'm like, couldn't I just jump over the fence? But no, I can't because it's too tall. And I'm wearing these baggy, like tight, not tight, but like these pants where I can't stretch or nothing. So I'm like, the only way over is either go back or to go across this cliff area. And if you don't know, this is like a fairly newly neighborhood. So there are cliffs because most neighborhoods are made on like, or not most neighborhoods, but some neighborhoods are made on like slopes and they're at the bottom of the slope. So if a flood ever happens, they have to make it so the flood doesn't totally annihilate the neighborhood and like cause chaos because it's supposed to be a safe neighborhood. So they made cliffs, which doesn't make any sense. But I guess it does because they made a fence so you can't walk off the cliff. So the only way for me to get over was to cross the cliff. And the only thing stopping me from like losing my footing is a metal bar. That's it. That's all I have. And me using my hands. So I'm just crossing over. It's very safe. It's very safe if you're healthy and you have muscle and you can actually uncharted your way. So I'm last of using my way over there. And as I'm doing that, it's so wet that I actually slip and I fall. And I'm like, I start sliding down. I'm like, no, no. And it's like 25, 30 feet up. So I'm like, if I fall, I'm definitely going to break something. So I climb back up and I'm like, oh man. So I'm going over slowly, going over slowly. And she's calling me while I'm doing this. I'm like, can you not call me while I'm thinking this? I'm like, can you not call me while I'm not trying not to die? And I finally get across. And I see my house, my fake house. I'm like, okay. So I run over across the street and I'm like, what's up? I open her door. I'm like, what's up? She was on her phone the whole time. Like, ah, she wasn't even paying attention. She's like, why y'all wet? I was like, it's raining outside. She's like, okay. I was like, that's it, bro. She would just believe me. I could have just walked. Later that night, I had like a whole bunch of bruises and stuff that I noticed and scratches and stuff. And I was just like, how did I get these many? It's like whenever you go through the forest or anything, you have a whole bunch of like bruises when you come out and scratches, and you don't even know how you got them. And it's just like, it's crazy to think about. It's like, how does this happen? I don't even feel it at the time, but I just had a whole bunch of scratches and all that. But basically, moral of the story is don't lie to your ex or don't lie to your girlfriend because it'll always come back to bite you in the ass somehow. Lying is just stupid. You can never keep up with a lie. Somehow lies just get out. Anyways, guys, that's it. So